Assalamu alaikum. My name is Dr. Aamir Matin. I'm the Country General Manager for Cisco Systems in Pakistan. Cisco is the worldwide leader in networking, and it is transforming the way people around the world are using the internet to connect, to collaborate, and to communicate with each other. Cisco has just reported its earnings for the last quarter, and we find that these earnings are in sync with our expectations. We have done $9.6 billion in this particular quarter, which is a 17% increase year on year over the same quarter last year. Now, for a company of our size, this is actually quite a considerable achievement. It is a record quarter for Cisco, and we in Pakistan are very pleased that the company globally has done well, and we too have played a major role, a significant role at least, in achieving our own targets for this quarter. There's something exciting that Cisco has also done in this particular quarter is that it has announced a definitive agreement to acquire Navini Networks. Now, Navini is a manufacturer of WiMAX equipment, and WiMAX, for those of you who may not know what this is, WiMAX is a technology that allows broadband to be delivered wirelessly. Now, currently in countries like Pakistan and other markets in the emerging segments of the world, you find that WiMAX is something that can actually be used very profitably. Instead of delivering broadband over copper wire, which is very difficult to do, copper in many of these countries is actually not quite as new as it should be. It has lots of quality issues. So people in these countries do not necessarily have the option of going for broadband over normal telephone wire. What they would like is either use cable, which is not quite as widespread as it could be, and at the same time, they also are using wireless connectivity. Now, this technology, which is WiMAX, is something that actually is growing considerably. In WiMAX, there is a particular sub-technology called A22.16e. This allows for mobility to be provided over WiMAX. Cisco has acquired this company called Navini Networks for about $330 million, and we believe this will be a cornerstone of our thrust or drive into the mobile segment of broadband. In Pakistan, we find that a number of companies have already introduced WiMAX. In fact, one major company already advertising heavily in the newspapers, and incidentally, Cisco is part of that exercise, already has launched WiMAX services. A number of other companies are following suit. The one thing that we need to keep in mind, I think, is that unless and until there is more content available over the internet, and this content has to be in the local language, because without having local language capability, the demand for broadband will not quite be what it should be. Today, broadband is typically used in Pakistan for, say, entertainment purposes, which is fine, but at the same time, you would really want to use this, the internet, because it has lots of capabilities. You would like to use it for information. An interesting phenomenon that took place in the recent past, in the past few weeks in Pakistan, a number of, as we know, a number of our news channels were blacked out. And that is when, in my opinion, the internet in Pakistan really came into its own. Instead of just using it for entertainment, a large number of people who are online were able to actually use tools such as Facebook, other collaborative tools, to post blogs, write their comments, share their views and opinions about the current political situation with people from across the world. This actually was used very, very effectively. And this is, again, an example of how the internet can actually be used for issues and for the benefit of a large number of people over and beyond the simple downloading of information or downloading of entertainment pictures or other such material. In the past in Pakistan, not too many people were very sure whether the internet would actually mature to that level. I think the past few weeks has demonstrated that the internet has actually matured very, very significantly, or the use of the internet has matured very significantly. Now, if you again stick to this issue of local language availability, in my opinion, we were hampered by the fact that Urdu is not available on the internet. If Urdu had indeed been available on the internet, I think a much larger number of people would have been able to benefit from the sharing of information, downloading of information, and exchanging opinion and ideas. Because you were forced to do this in English. As we know, not too many people in Pakistan have English as their first language. In fact, nobody does. A few people do speak it well, but the vast majority of our population, I think, would be hampered by the fact that Urdu is not available over the internet. So local language computing remains a major challenge and remains a major area of growth in order for us to, if indeed we want the internet to grow, I think local languages would be something that needs to grow. WiMAX itself will probably grow a lot, in our opinion, over the next few quarters, but we have to wait for the stage when the customer premises equipment, or CPE, or the end user actually has the equipment which is available cheaply and is mass produced. Only then will we see a major takeoff or growth in this particular segment. I think when we get to the stage when laptops all come equipped, instead currently they come equipped with Wi-Fi cards, instead if they come equipped with WiMAX cards, we will then see a massive proliferation or a growth in the use of WiMAX in countries like Pakistan. One disappointment that we've seen over the past few months in Pakistan is we've been trying to work with communities on trying to see how we could actually get the internet to them and whether they can use this internet profitably. We have not had too much success so far. The idea was that you would pick a primary school, you would provide connectivity to this primary school, and then hopefully the local community there would benefit from this internet by, say, paying for access to vocational training courses, paying for access to connected health programs, likewise for programs that enable you to carry out adult literacy, say. That unfortunately has not happened so far. I think one reason has been that the cost of the bandwidth itself remains very, very high. Even though it has come down significantly, it remains still very, very high. And justifying this economically in a small community, perhaps today, it's too early to do that. On the other hand, this notion that if you have the availability of vocational training programs coming to you streaming down the web, you'll have a willing group of people on the other side who would actually go out and start learning from this. I think that itself was perhaps too idealistic and option that we had looked at. What we're now trying to do is to work with organizations like TEFTA or the commission at called the National NAFTEC, National Vocational Training and Education Commission at the federal government level. And there again, the objective is to see how one could integrate the internet into whatever work that they are doing, which means that your end user is not the one looking at the internet or downloading from the internet, but it's actually not just the end user, but actually the institution or office where people are going. There is a human trainer as well available and who is using the internet to supplement whatever it is that he's teaching. I think that brings us to the end of this short conversation that I'm having with you. The internet indeed is growing. The past 3 months in Pakistan, we've seen a rise in the growth of users. It's been used in very interesting ways. I think we will continue to see this dramatic growth in the rise of the internet over the next few